Okay, there we go. Nun Tes. Page Nun Tes, the rewrite, so we're just reading the ARI now. Kavanas ad ana b'chia b'tzion the misbeh Yerushalayim. Now, the reason why I didn't really go into this again was because I wasn't prepared to start analyzing the different pesukim, or the different mizmorim, really. But anyway, let's go on. He says, "Keshatom ad ana b'chia b'tzion," and this is another one of the phrases there. Tzion he keneged Rachel. What do you mean by Tzion? Tzion refers to apparently Malchus. Yerushalayim, though, he says, refers to Leah. V'tavin lahamtik, and so v'tekaben lahamtik eshtechem migvurosehem, and the concept over here in this particular phrase. What's the phrase? Ad ana b'chia b'tzion. Okay, that could take, like we say, a little bit more explanation, but we're moving through Bekiyas here to see just the words of the Rav. Let's see if we can fit them together. Those lights that come to Rachel. So we understand that Rachel is the nook which is lined up from the Chatzot Lamata of Zer Anpin. And how does she get her shefa? From the backside of Zer Anpin, V'zeha Ofen. The way is through a Ravua. Yud K, Vav K. All of these are from the name Ma, because Zer Anpin represents Ma. V'hu K'minyan Ayin Daled Ana, or Ad Ana. It comes to the same gematria as this, which is a gematria of 130. Gam Megia Malecha Oros Hamagulos B'Yesod De'ima. So also, she also gets, because I'm assuming he means during the Nesira, but I don't know for sure. He says, Agam Magia Malecha Oros Hamagulos B'Yesod De'ima. So those lights which come out of Ima, I'm assuming that it means it going directly into the nook. Asher B'Chiyos and Lamalaka Neged Leah, so that the lights start out originally up above, opposite Leah. Haim Oros Stumin, there the lights are not revealed, because Leah that corresponds to the area above the Chatzot. So this is the concept. Let's go back one second. So he says, one second, he says, Vahu Kaminyan Adana, which is 130, which is the gematria of the das of the nook. So so also she gets those lights. They are lights that are stumim. So in other words, they're closed up inside of Ima. So he said, B'chinas HaHevel, and what it is, and I'm sure the metaphor here, it's like a vapor. Hayotzim in the Yesod of Ima, so just something very thin that comes out of the Yesod of Ima. And what is it? V'hi milui havaya desag, which is 37. Shubha gematria lamed zayin convenient b'chia, which is the same concept as the word b'chia. Now this could really be worked up, and I'm thinking that this could be worked on a lot harder, because Chatzot is something we say every day. We're supposed to say every day. So going on, he says, "Od ad ana b'chia b'tzion keneged chisaron oros de Rachel." So what is, I continue to cry, ad ana, I cry, b'tzion, for Tzim, that refers to the chisaron of the lights that are coming to Rachel. All Rachel is getting here was this vapors that we talk about. B'sechad ad ana b'chia, to the point where I'm crying. HaKavana loma, the Kavanas say like this, Sha'atachein chaserim min Rachel, because now they're missing, Rachel is missing them. Rachel is nikros Sion, Shnei mini oros aniskarim, she's missing those two different types of lights. Shehem begematria ad ana, that number ad ana b'chia, which is the gematria of ad ana b'chia, until the point I cry. Until how long will I cry, maybe? V'ana tzoakim alav Yisbar, we're crying out to Hashem Yisbar. Shahad Ana, until you get to the word Ana, Timshach Bekiya Zu, you can continue this crying. B'Rachel, in Rachel, Al Chisara Na'oros Ha'eda V'Hashefa Shelo, because of what she's missing, all the light that she's missing. Asher Shnechem Olam Ad Ana Bekiya, until the both go up to the concept of Ad Ana Bekiya, that gematria, which is a gematria cow. And also it has in it the Lamed Zion, which is the Milui of Sag. All of these things have much more to be said about them. O Milas Tzion Kavarn is Bar B'Makom Acher. So this word Tzion, it's already been explained, explained in another place. So Tzion, I don't know where that place is right now. So he said does say the Memdalad, he says it did Shara Pesukim, and Parsha V'Yahrtzeit. Let's go on to the next part. He says, Umispe B'Yerushalayim Kedeged Kisaron Olus Leah, so that now a new phrase, Mispe B'Yerushalayim, it regards to that which is missing, the lights that are missing from Leah. Kedeged Leah, who's in the area of the very high area relationship to Ima, where Ima penetrates into Zeranpin, and as a result of that, the lights that are coming out of there are going to be sasum in terms of going out to Rachel. Keneged Leah Misped B'Yerushalayim. We say this phrase: Ki ha'oras ha'meirim b'Leah heim sod acharayim, the Yesod Abba. They're really the secret, of the Yesod of the Yahrtzeit, the Revua of the Yesod of Abba ha'meirim b'Leah, which is what's shining at Leah. Now, Abba to shine into Leah, he has Ima outside of him, so it has to go through Ima and through the walls, I guess, of Abba into Ima, and then through the goof, and then out to Leah. Because Kanoidiki Sham Hu Bechinas Moshe Hameir Beleah. There is the concept of Moshe, the concept that to me is Das, which is in the neck, which would be the lower part of Leah. He says that Ki Sham Ku Bechinas Moshe Hameir Beleah. Kamavur Vitzlena, which is explained by Ma'ibach of Razal. Kala Mahalak Dalit Amos Be'eretz Yisrael. There's apparently a famous piece right over there, but we have to see it inside. Vuhu Ravua, and what is it? Once again, he says, because he says it's the Ruvua the Av the Yudin. So why would it be that? Because Abba is Av, and he's saying that Ima is Sag. So therefore, that's why we had that piece there. V'ku b'gematria kaf pei dalet. Now there might have been a lot more to this, because I'm thinking he mentioned about the concept of the vapor that's coming from the Yesod of Ima, I guess coming out to Rachel. He says that is who Revua the Havaya the Av. That would be the Sag that we were talking about. But who gematria? But let's go back to this. He says the Revua of Av is the number 184, or kapad, communion masped. So it's the concept of a eulogy. V'ha'inyan sha'or shalol shehem kapad. So the lights that are coming to Leah through Abba are in fact the number 184, those lights. Nehefchuch the misped, they turn around and they become a eulogy. Because it's what comes instead of the light, which is the gematria of kappa. Go on. V'tam hiyosa nikras Yerushalayim. So going to this now. The reason why she's called Yerushalayim. Huki Leah he lamala achrei haponim dezer anpin mamish, because that's where she's located. He really means, I guess, if from the face, I guess he means corresponding. Normally, they always talk about Leah being the cause of lamala. So how high does it go? It goes up to the level of the panim of Abba and Ima. So therefore she has a certain amount of light that comes from the panim. L'gavar yudate sheha'aras hapanim he shall kale. Melua, which is the number kappa, 185. So let's see this again. He says that the lights that come from the face are the lights of 185 and of the milui of kale. Besod Bei Shemos Kale B'Melua, and so you have two of them, which comes out to be the number Shin Ayin. Shin Ayin the Haran, the Anfim Eloah Kanoa, the Kanoda. Okay, so this is around Leah. For the Chen Tikaven Ki Shloshus Osius Yaru, which is a gematria 216. This is what we pronounce usually Ryo, but here he has Yaru. So it actually refers to, let's read it again, V'lechein tekaven ki shloshus osias Yaru, which are the first three letters of the word Yerushalayim, Heim begematria Kale, the Kale, again, Aleph Lamed Fe, Lamed Mem Daled, and if you add it up like that, Kale plus the 185, once again comes to the number of Ryo. Ryo is a sweetened din, I think. V'shloshus osias Shalem, so those are the last three letters of the name Yerushalayim, and Yerushalayim, Heim begematria Shin Ayin Naharim, that comes in the number 370, which is a double 185. Shehem Shnei Pamim Aleph Lamed, like that, if you add it up, 285 times 185 times 2. Now we've mentioned the word kale 3 different times. I'm not sure what he means here. Let's look at it again. He says, seems like it's just reading the Rav. It needs some teaching to be able to put it together with an idea. But he says, Huskru, I'm not sure where they're mentioned, 3 different times, the name Kale, B'Meluim, in the Milui, is 185 times 3. Shemekoma Betrin Tfuchim, that the place that these Kales shine out from are the 2 cheeks, which don't have hair, the hair of the face of their, I'm not sure who he's talking about, of Eric Anpin, or he's talking about Abba Nim, I'm not sure. So he says, and the nose. So these are 3 places that don't have a beard. And as a result of that, the light that's in the face shines tremendously there. Now he was talking about Abba before. So let's see, and this Havaya of Miluyav. V'harin is boyer tam lama Yerushalayim hiba Leah. So now we've explained why this is in Leah. There is a lot more to be said about that. So the next one says, in number Samach Gimel, he says, Takum Terachim Tzion, that phrase, Keneged Rachel, V'tibanech Homas Yerushalayim Keneged Leah. V'acha shetza'aknu ad ana b'chia b'tzion and misbeh Yerushalayim, and so we cried out until we got to this place, or through this. Ana mispala the Malavi's Baruch, we pray to Hashem's Baruch. Takum, get up. Terachim Tzion Keneged, rise up and have mercy on Tzion Keneged Rachel, and this all goes opposite Rachel, corresponding to Rachel. This Rachel, as we said before, is Tzion. V'tivnech of Homas Yerushalayim Keneged Leah, but building her up, or building the walls around her, I'm not sure what that means. The walls refers to Leah, because then it refers to Yerushalayim. So Yerushalayim is Leah, and Tzion is Rachel. V'akavana, what's the kavana? Shebekoich shnecha Yesod of Abba ve'ima, toyer bechem v'takim l'shtechem menifilasam. Because of those lights that are coming from Abba ve'ima, then this will be able to fortify Rachel and Leah from their fall. So they're falling. But the question is to strengthen them. I guess is to sweeten the fall. The word takum is takmu. So tak, what is the number 500? Ki tak hu acharayim de ekya. If you take the acharayim de ekya, the yudin, you get to the number 500. Ashecha b'hem begematria takmat. This is 544. Tosser the Memdal, which is 44, Shehem Cheshbon Osis of Peshutos, which is the count, just the count of the letters of the he says of the Revua of Ekia the Yudin. V'Hanishar was going to be Taf Kuf, which is 500. Okay, let's 1 second. Okay. V'gam miloi the Ravavaya the Av the Yudin, also the miloi of Av the Yudin, Bigimatria Mo, which is also, we know that the miloi is 46. V'hu Tak Mo. So this becomes that phrase. Terachem hem shlosha pamim rayo. So the word terachem actually is three times rayo. Sheyesh betzir arba osius chavavai, and you can find this. I'm not sure what this means. He has some notes on this. It will be interesting. Oh, there's a lot interesting here. V'shem of havaya. So he said betzir arba osius havaya. Commotion is boyer lael beseder hashkiva. So per v'rubasham nizboyer acher kavanas abgitats. So after we had that kavana, Ayin Sham, so you have to go back there and look at that. I would like to go down below and look at it more, but let's go through and let's see what we can come back to. So he said, the idea is like this, 3 times rayo. Terachem comes to Terachem Sion v'tivna chos Yerushalyim shehem Rachel v'Leah, which are Rachel and Leah, Sion v'Yerushalyim, that's them. Now you have to have, when we see the word Sion v'Yerushalayim a lot, so potentially. So it's always referring to Rachel and Leah and building them. We're talking about a spiritual building. Gavar Yudanta ki Sion hi bebechidas hanakuda hapenimis de Rachel. That's what Sion is. Sion is a point, a designated spot that exists in Malchus. Shehi Yesod Shaba, which is what? That's the Yesod for her, which is the object of where all the Shefa from the male aspect is trying to reach. V'tachem Sham hu inyan terachem kenizker, so therefore is, I don't know, it's the word Taf Rachem, but he says inyan terachem and nizkar, Shehim Shlosha, which comes out to be the gematria there, Tzir, the form of Rayo, Shebachavaya, Shehim Sod Mam Shabal. Now, I have to say that I really don't understand this. There's too much there. And so let's look at the Tiv. I just don't know what to do with it. What does he mean by it's in the Seer of Yud K Vav K? And I see there are some notes on this. I don't know how much we get out of it because we missed a lot. Number Ayin Daled. Let me get that up here. Let me bring this down a little bit. 1 second. Okay, so it says, Terachem hem shlosha pamim rayo. Sheyesh betzir arba osias achapavaya, commotion is boyer la'el, as we said before. Let's look at the Matak V'Devash. The Matak V'Devash b'shem avaya yeshnam shlosha tziyuri rayo. Actually, you could find 3 different forms of rayo. The number 216. Now we know, I don't know really what it means, like 100%. He's going to tell us more now what the power of rayo is. Ba'osias yud k. So then you could make Yud K look like this, which is Yud K, and the K actually is a Dalet and a Vav. That's the number 20. So he said, Ba'osius Hey Vav. So he, I got this wrong. I'm sorry, I'm misreading it. The Yud K is actually the name Rayo. So you can make Yud K into Rayo. So you see that the Yud, and it's a resh, and there's a little vav over there. That's a number rayo. That's from the first 2 letters of Yud K Vav K. Then you go to the last 2 letters, which are K Vav, and he says that, well, you could also do a rayo like this. This is the resh with the Yud, and then the Vav, it's another rayo. And then Va'osius Vav K, because we're doing Vav K, Yud K Vav, so I guess that's what we got, Yud K, K Vav, like that, like in a Ravua. Or not an Avruah, but anyway, it goes Yud K, K Vav. Of Osius Vav K, you got another Rayo, which is Vav, and a Resh, and a Yud, which makes the Hey, and like that. He says, "V'shalosha pamim rayo ola b'gematria terachim." That's what he wanted to say. We could read it again. Comes the gematria of terachim, and you should have mercy upon us. And this gives you another little insight into the name Rayo. V'yedechem bonim is Rachel, which is Tzion, the Leah, which is Yerushalayim. We need this Rayo. Shemavakshim tapum terachim Tzion. So this is what we seek out there, that he should rise up and bring this terachim, which is the three Rayos that are confounded inside of the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. And then build the HAKODESH Yerushalayim, which is Leah. Because Shlosha, how does he do this? Through these three rayos. Ha'olim, they come to the number of terachim, the same gematria. So I started down below, so let's keep going down below. He says, "Gavar yudati ki Tzion hi b'bechinas hanakuda hapenimis derachel shehi yesod sheba v'lechein sham ku inyan terachim." That's where the terachim needs to go. And this guy, shehem shlosha tziyuri raya, which we said before, sheba chavaya shehem sod man sheba. So this will more information about raya. The terachim is actually an aspect of Mayim Nukvin, because what you're saying is that we're dressing Hashem from the bottom where everything is falling apart. Hine la'el nizboyer, so he says up above, it's been explained. The Yerushalayim, so I guess he means Yerushalayim with a Yud, but it says Yerushalayim. He bechinas Leah, v'Tzion, we said it bechinas Rachel. Let me explain another way. The Shnechem came Barachel, that they're both in Rachel, so both Tzion and are in Rachel. Ela the Yesod the Rachel Nikrat Tzion, v'Ataras Yesod Shalom, which is the Malchus of Pratis Shalom, Nikras Yerushalayim. Okay, those are all possibilities. V'hinach of Yesod the Rachel Nikrat Tzion Ka'amor, who b'bechinah the Kudach of Pnimi Shalom. So that's what we understand, that Tzion is a designation, like a site location. It's in the Nekuda Penimis, it's the most Penimis of Hashem Yesoda, and there was where Yesod is. Like we said before, Yesod, so to speak, in relationship to Zer Anpen, is his target. This is what he's trying to bring the Shefa to. So he said, V'sham Yesoda Nimsa Shlosha Tziyuri Rayo. There's where we find three different formations of Rayo. Haniskarim Ha'olim B'mizbet Terachim, which come to the same gematria, which is 648. Vehem bechinas haman shabi Yesoda, and this is what? The potential to come up. This is all the concept of the man that's in the Yesod in the Tzion, which is saying that's the Tzion of Rachel. Amnam Yerushalayim hi bechinas malchus she'ene bechinas penimis. Rak choma chitzonis. It's only the outside of it. Now, what does that mean? The outside walls. L'umas Tzion, shehir hanakuda b'nei mishal anuk. So that idea, the highness spheres Yesod Shalom, Yerushalayim, he bechinas spheres of Malchus apratis. This is the concept of the sphere of Malchus, the specific sphere of Malchus. This is he says pratis, so he says the exact that, the nuk, shehir hanakuda chitzonis, but that's the outside dot. So now he has two different dots, the nature of the dot. The dot, which both of them apparently refers to the Yesod of Malchus. Here it's referring to the outside part of that dot. Should be Yesod, Bechinas Choma, Hamakefe Bebechutz, Shechem Yesod, Hu Penimi, Yosech of the Gabech and B'Malchus, Shehir Chantaras Yesod, Shemakiv Al Yesod Bebechutz. So now we see this is the Taras Yesod, which is the Malchus of Malchus. So, but it represents the outside part. Let's see if we could do this one more. We got two more. He said, it's Leno, B'Seder Hashanah Rabbah, B'inyan Chomas V'Tachom. He says, excuse me, Kol B'Malchus. Everything refers to Malchus, not to Yesod. B'drash Shana Rabbah, so that's Mitzvah Shem, we'll see it again. Before the yesh shtei bechinas chosma chosamos anaasim benok. Chosem echad nite biyisoda, v'zer naasach b'tefilas ne'ilah the Yom HaKippurim. So that is what the naasach b'tefilas trom ad nite biyisoda, that's one. V'chosen sheni, the second one, nite b'malchus aprati shallah, the specific malchus of her. So Zechan Naasa B'leil Shana Rabbah, and that takes place on the night of the Shana Rabbah. And Bavur Shaman explains over there that the Hachasomos Halalu Nekroim Chomos Al Shem Shuhu Asroi L'Shmira Shelo Yanku Hachitzonim Mehanuk. Again, he said that the homos, what do you need them for? Why do you need the general malchus in this situation? I'm calling it the general malchus, or he means the malchus of pratis. He said, crime to home, so therefore it's called a boundary. That they could get a hold of it. And says, this is the last one now. This is the concept, then you will rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Yerushalayim and Enel Rak Homos. It's not just walls. They're talking about the seal over Malchus Danuk, which is the wall, the concept of the bechinas of a wall. This is Baruch Fleischman. This is the Tikkun elevator call-out. We've been leading the word today is the Yahrtzeit of the Holy ARI. Would be good to light a candle. Got to see if I got one. And learn as much of the ARI as possible.